Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 52 of the Powerful Content Podcast. I hope you're well. If you're listening in real time, it's only a few more weeks until I celebrate a whole year of podcasting, and I am so super excited about this. The next solo episode I'll be releasing is all about insights into podcasting. So this is a must listen for you if a podcast is on your list of goals this year, and just quietly, I think it should be. And then we'll be celebrating with a special episode with Mr. Meld, aka Adam, my gorgeous husband, where he'll be asking the questions, and really, who knows what's going to happen. So if you'd love to know anything about me, business, content, or podcasting, make sure you drop me a DM over on Instagram with your question, as I'd much rather it be an episode of your questions rather than the surprises I'm sure that Mr. Meld has up his sleeve. So on to today's episode about building an email list without feeling salesy. Now, straight off the bat, I want to say that we need to sell. We need to feel comfortable about attracting the right people into our world and making them offers, because that's how we survive in business, by making money. However, I don't think that we need to do it in a way that makes us feel icky. Yes, selling can be uncomfortable, but every single one of us can do it as long as we feel like it's in a way that sits right with us. So hopefully on today's episode, you will uncover that way that feels right for you. But first of all, I'm going to give you permission to ditch all the things that you've ever learnt about lead magnets, about email marketing and funnels that don't serve you, and build your list in a way that feels easy and is, most importantly, full of aligned people, because I believe that a healthy email list is important for so many different reasons. It helps with things like getting your message to more of the right people. It lessens your reliance on other platforms such as social media that you don't own, and it allows you to nurture those people who love you and who really do want to buy from you, and it helps you to make sales when your people are ready to convert, or when you create an offer that appeals to them. But the problem is that most business owners are looking to simply increase the size of their email list without too much thought as to who those people are. Yes, it's nice for vanity reasons to have a big email list, but you also need to consider whether those numbers are serving you well. So if you're wondering whether you've got the right people on your list, then you may be experiencing some of these things. The first thing is that your open rates are decent, but most importantly, they are increasing. The average open rate across all the average industries in Australia is averagely about 20%. This is kind of like the minimum benchmark you should be aiming for. But your goal should be not to reach a certain benchmark or reach a certain open rate. It should actually be to constantly improve against your own results. You might also have the right people on your email list if you're finding that they reply or respond to your emails. This really shows that your subscribers resonate with the content that you're creating enough to engage and respond to it. So these, my friend, are your people. And another indicator might be a launch conversion rate of around 1 to 2%. So this is kind of like the minimum end of conversion rates for a launch. And an email list of the right people or aligned people is actually likely to convert at a higher rate. But there's so much more to an email list than who's on it. There's how you attract them, and also what you do with them afterwards. But more on this later. Everything that we're talking about today sits inside what's known as a sales funnel. And a traditional sales funnel is like that upside down triangle where we're funneling or pushing people through an email automation with the sole objective of selling them something after they're signed up for a small piece of free content, being your lead magnet. And this is where I find most of my clients and my members get stuck because they're being told you have to grow your email list, it has to be huge, and you have to sell to it as soon as possible. And that doesn't really sit right with them, so they don't know where to start with all of this, and it becomes overwhelming, and then they're stuck in procrastination, and then nothing ever gets done. Can you resonate with this? So in this episode, I'm going to help you flick that switch so that building your email list doesn't feel hard or salesy because you're attracting aligned people who really do value and resonate with your message. Now, the other thing I want to cover off here before I dive into how to attract those aligned people is changing your mindset around what we're trying to achieve here. I just want you for a moment to forget the word sales when it comes to funnels. And if you have to replace it with something, make it the word nurture. Conversion rates for a sales funnel sits at around 1 to 2% for higher ticket services. So that's 100 new people you need to attract to your email list in order to sell 1 or 2 of your things. And for a small business, I think that this is going to be really challenging unless you're using paid marketing to help build your list. So what if I gave you the permission to treat this as a nurturing exercise? How differently would you approach building your list? You don't need to sell anything straight off the bat, but rather invite your new subscribers into your world, expand the content ecosystem that they're connected with, and then show them what's possible to have in their life by working with you. I see so many of my clients have aha moments around this shift in perspective. It's a simple shift, but an important shift. Your content, your lead magnet and your emails switch from a how do I make more sales, which can have a pushy kind of heavy, desperate energy to it, to how do I attract and serve the right people, which feels so much lighter, more joyous and more achievable, don't you think? So now that you have the permission to build your email list in a way that feels good for you, and that means ditching the salesy aspects of it, what are the pieces that you need to be aware of in order to make sure that you're building it with the right people? And I think that we really need to go back to basics here. Obviously, you need to know who that aligned ideal client is, and if you need help with this, make sure you download my unboring ideal client avatar worksheet, which is actually in the show notes. So that's the first thing. We need to know who that person is, and we need to think about using our content powerfully within the client journey to connect, subscribe, nurture, convert, and onboard. So attracting the right people actually starts way before they even sign up to your lead magnet. It starts in that connect phase, the very first phase of the client journey, by making sure that you're very clear on what you value, as well as communicating what you can do with your ideal client. It's going to make sure that you're building your list with the right people from the very start. And as a really superficial example, let's just say you're a particularly sweary type of person, yet nothing you put out on socials or the core content you create actually reflects this. So imagine if someone signed up to your email list, downloaded your free piece of content, your lead magnet, thinking that you're one type of person, only to find out that you love to drop an F-bomb. I know from my own personal experience that someone recommended a podcast to me once, and there was so much swearing in it that I couldn't even see out the episode. And for that person, my reaction was absolutely perfect. She doesn't want people who don't resonate with her way of communicating on her email list. And I know exactly what to expect of her if I did sign up to her email list. So that's step 1. Really connect and use the connection phase of the client journey in a way that reflects who you are and who you want to attract. Okay, so the second step is to create a really relevant lead magnet. The way that you grow your email list is to provide your audience with a lead magnet, and that's that free piece of content that provides so much value and moves your ideal client one step closer to the ultimate solution to their problem and wanting to purchase from you. But the trap that a lot of people fall into here is making their lead magnet so generic that it attracts all the people rather than the right people. So go back to episode 12, building an aligned audience with the perfect lead magnet, if you want to know more about creating a lead magnet that serves you and your ideal client. But just know that the more specific you can make your lead magnet, the more likely you'll attract the right people. And once again, if you are creating a lead magnet that is so in line with your values, with your beliefs, and in a way that really resonates with both how you love to create content as well as how your ideal client loves to receive your content, then you will be building your list in a non-salesy way. Okay, so the third thing is to think about hanging out where your ideal client hangs out. Are the right people for you on Instagram? Are they enjoying Clubhouse? Do they love to consume videos? Do they only have short snippets of time to listen to a quick podcast? One of the easiest ways to find the right people for your email list is to find Facebook groups that are full of them. Show up consistently, be helpful, provide value, and offer them your lead magnet if the group rules allow. You can definitely do this inside of my free Facebook group, The Content Project, so make sure that you come and join us. I would love to see what your lead magnet is. I would love to help you build your email list with the right people in a non-salesy way. The last step is to make it easy. Make it easy for your ideal client to subscribe to your email list. So once you've created that perfect lead magnet, it's all about getting it into the hands of the right people. But the right people can't find it if you don't promote it. Besides those dedicated promotions on social media, add your lead magnet sign up link to your Instagram bio, add it to your Facebook business profile, update your Facebook banners every now and then with information on it, pin it to the top of your Instagram and Facebook feed, and put it all over your website. You can go back to episode 8, Simple Social Media Plan Sorted, for more detail on using the client journey for social media. And remember that growing your email list, building your list is part of that subscribe part of the client journey. That simple social media plan really goes back to the heart of using the client journey as your mechanism for turning up and being visible and consistent on social media. But you really do need to be promoting your lead magnet at least once a week on social media and using calls to action in all of your core content wherever you can. If you've been listening carefully, I've already done it in this episode with both my unboring ideal client avatar worksheet and my free Facebook group as well. The more opportunities that the right people have to find you, the better. Okay, so I know that I've given you a lot to think about today, but here's a really quick summary. Shift your perspective of building an email list from a sales funnel to a nurture funnel. Understand that having an aligned email list is better than having a big one. So that means attracting the right people starts at the very beginning of the client journey, even before people start to sign up to your email list. And when they do join your email list, it's more about nurturing them and getting them to that point where they're ready to purchase from you. You don't need to do this by constantly selling, but by giving value instead. Don't keep your email list the world's best kept secret. Make sure that you're promoting it as much as possible. And remember, you can do that inside of my free Facebook group, The Content Project. If you still feel like you need help attracting the right people to your email list in a way that feels really aligned to the way that you love to communicate your message, that being less salesy and more about nurturing people, then make sure that you go and check out my Done For You services, where I can help you build your list and create nurture packages for your ideal client. I'd love to help you build your list in a way that feels aligned for you and your ideal client. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the content effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.